Walking with the sun, preparing for many lifetimes. I kind of lived many lifetimes in my lifetime, as we have chapters. Even the most I have some of the most boring lives you'll ever see, but it has chapters, believe it or not. And in that seemingly boring looking book, I think are a lot of really neat and juicy tales. It's just that they're difficult to tell. They were happening very quickly, and they were very stimulating, and I wasn't quite sure I even had a story to tell most of the time. But I definitely felt my instincts for survival peaked by people pretty regularly, year by year, and season by season of my life, whether they be very close to me or not close at all. People are quite dangerous to be around, and certainly that situation itself casts a continual barrage of aspersions as to your own psyche, sanity, purity, you name it, whatever a religion can accuse you of psychiatric problems, of hypersensitivity, social inadequacy, you name it. I mean, I've heard them, felt them, sensed them, thought about them all. In fact, and they've made a practice of doing so since I was very young because, what's wrong? Could it be me? What's wrong? Could it be me? Now, the tricky territory here is that a lot of the disease that you confront is all about really saying, yeah, something's wrong and it's you. But really, I'm wrong, and really, a good deal is wrong. And it really doesn't mean, even when you go to that level of analysis, necessarily that nothing's wrong with you. But it does mean that it seems like a lot around you wants to make you think there is. So that's, I don't know, it's not the most auspicious, but I can think of worse things, than having to doubt yourself. So if you're okay with doubting yourself, I think you'll get by quite well in the world, because it's like in every way you doubt yourself, you you can have a chance to strengthen your thought without the need to overuse the ability to eliminate it, because just because someone says that you can't or aren't or you're bad doesn't necessarily mean that you are, any more than necessarily means that you aren't. You're certainly maybe bad for them. Um, you may, as far as they know you're bad, maybe in terms of what they think and have seen, have been told, because it's usually a mixture, and so on and so on. So you're dealing with not so much faulty judgment as judgment that just seems to operate by totally different parameters depending on who you talk to and what they think of you and why. So, how does anyone ever get a consistent feeling that the judgment of people around them are even legitimate, even as they're forced to contend with all of it on any given time? And simple things too, like whether or not you work or how long your hair is, not to mention what color your skin is or what's between your legs, does affect how a lot of people behave, whether we like it or not. Whether you call yourself sexist or not, it does fucking affect how everyone behaves. Sometimes things can mitigate, but it does. The fact is that people's sex changes how people behave. This is the one area of our lives we can't eliminate. I think a lot of people would just say, let's just eliminate that. That's just racist. That's just sexist. But and certainly it leads to a lot of psychotic behavior. But that should tell you something. It reminds someone's sex, the shape of their body. For me, I've met enough people who are psychotic. The shape of their body, how they walk, the sound of their voice tells me a lot about them. And most of the time, I don't like the way that sounds. It's like, oh, that. It's one thing to walk around and think, oh, gay and free, solitude, gay in the sense of being just unattached and happy. Oh, people are out today. Look at these nice people. Look at those nice people. When you're looking around you and you're just like, you've spent the day in nature listening to beautiful sounds and the sound of your own voice, and you're like, look at that ugly person. Oh, look, oh, those people sound ugly. Oh, those children just sound like demons. And that's what you're thinking and feeling throughout the day. And every now and then, as if to give evidence of the accuracy of your judgment, people or children will pop out and you'll go, oh, those are nice ones, you know and it's just like, wow, it's night and day. It's like all of a sudden watching this horrible movie with screeching noises, and it turns into this pleasant music played by a flute, wielded by a naked woman who looks at you as though her breasts have waited to be touched by the rough, gentle, and sensitive fingers possessed only by you. And she's singing that song so that you'll find her address and send her naked pictures of yourself. And I don't think they should have sent the police to my door. I think that was highly inappropriate. I'm merely a romantic, but I digress. If you can remember what I was talking about, you get to move to the front of the class. I don't hear a lot or see a lot of what I like. I notice people getting fatter. It's almost like they're getting fattened up for something, you know. If I was a breeding man, I would say that particular animal, called human, Homo sapien, is being fattened for something. What would that be? That's far beyond my pay grade. I'll have to pass that up the line. Now on to other things. How to bake a cake with enough butter to kill a French whorehouse. Kill it, man. Boom, 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 wild thing. Boom, you're so weird. Wild thing. You're so weird. I am gay as a running horse. I am proud as a tiny horse. I am free as an American citizen. Man, I'm as healthy as a Kardashian, plastic surgeon, on retainer, and of uncertain sexual orientation. That was the finest song that was ever sung. And I am not exaggerating. I am not one prone to hyperbole. That song, I think, was the most beautiful song ever uttered anywhere, even including the things uttered from jail cells in the poorest parts of the country, which we must say are beautiful. The murmurs of their sleepless mouths at night shall not stay those rusted coils. Those bars are not untried. There is not to be said there is no evidence that someone has tried to pry them loose. As a child might do, if they were stuck in a cage. Cages for their minds. They would try those bars, wouldn't they? Cages for their hearts. They would try those bars, wouldn't they? Cages for their bodies. They would try those bars, wouldn't they? That's how snake oil salesmen talk. They repeat and they use that. We've all heard those tones, right? Use unscented mouthwash, and they would pry those bars, wouldn't? And you could just throw in anything. Just repeating that sort of. Anyway, on to other things. I woke up, my penis bigger today. I've been using a penis growing Grecian formula. I measured it. It was at least 0.3 nanometers longer. They also sent a special measuring device. It's made of blue and yellow filters with a special LED laser that gives you the improved length down to the nanometer. And you attach it to your scrotum with an elastic band, and then you pull it as tight as you can, and you stick it on the head of your penis, and it has a digital readout. And then it works whether you're flaccid or erect, and it will tell you exactly. And it's been growing by about 0.1 nanometers every day. At this rate, in about 400 years, I'm going to be a full half a centimeter longer. And then this video will be longer. You know, the longer it gets, the longer than my videos will be. I think anything long is good. You know, you always want to live long, you want to be long, you want to talk long, you want to eat for a long time, shit for a long time, you know? I mean, if I could just like eat a really good meal and money was no option, imagine if you could just like barf it all up, right? And be hungry all over again, like you hadn't eaten anything, and then start again. I mean, is that, bulimia isn't a sickness, it's just fun. You know, they're just having fun. I mean, I don't know about the anorexics though. That doesn't look like a lot of fun. But I get that I've kind of had a esthete like parts of my life where you deprive yourself of things. Never so much that I think I risked, you know, wasting away physically, but enough that you know there are. I think you know a diet shouldn't make you die. You don't have to die to have a diet. You know, I mean like food elimination or I don't even have to eliminate food. My body sometimes just doesn't want to eat things now, you know. So I just I'm trying to cut down the amount of potato chips I eat every day. But quite frankly, out here in the cold or heat or talking and doing what I do, I use up a lot of calories.